Friends, the gospel we heard earlier teaches us about different aspects of light and sight which are important in discipleship. Do we distinguish the light of the Lord from the light emanating from other lords? Do we recognize it in unexpected moments and people? Jesus' healing of the blind man upset the Pharisees because it was done on the Sabbath when pious Jews ought to refrain from any activities. They considered the healing of a blind man as work. Also, they doubted that Jesus came from God because he interacted with a blind man. During that time, an affliction like blindness was seen as a product of the sins of the person or his or her parents. Those Pharisees even questioned if he was truly blind. They could not believe that a sinner could receive such grace from God. They restricted the favor of God to the holy people like themselves. So they became blind, not able to see God's action outside of their expectations. This scene in the life of Jesus was moving. It confirms what the saints from every age have known, that everything comes from the grace of God. The blind man's sight was restored solely by the grace of God. But even though he received healing from his affliction, faith in the Lord was not automatic. He underwent a process, which is also guided by grace. He was not like the woman with hemorrhage who longed to touch the hem of Jesus' clothes to be healed. He was not like the leprous man who sang God's praises, after being cleansed. This blind man did not even ask to be healed. No wonder his initial reaction was matter-of-factly. When asked how the healing came about, he simply said, "Oh, this man named Jesus touched my eyes and told me to go to the pool and wash, and now I can see." Only after much interrogation and pressure from the Pharisees did he say, "We know that God does not listen to sinners. But if one is devout and does his will, he listens to him." It is unheard of that anyone ever opened the eyes of a person born blind. If this man were not from God, he would not be able to do anything. Imagine how this poor man has turned into an interlocutor of the learned and experts in the scriptures. He seemed to be saying, "Can't you see? Are you blind? The prophecy was fulfilled in my healing. I was blind, but now I can see. God must be at work. Can you not see?" Perhaps it was during this unpleasant exchange with the Pharisees did he realize that God had been at work in his encounter with Jesus. After being expelled by the Pharisees, he was sought by Jesus. There he saw who Jesus truly was, the Messiah, the Son of Man, the light of the world. He professed his faith in him and worshipped him. Brothers and sisters, may we see that the grace and patience of God does not disappoint. Let us pray for the same grace that this man received. May we be humble to see God's work in unexpected moments and people. Jesus is the light. We see rightly through him. To claim that we can see clearly without his light is blindness.